first of all, Todd and Darla, I really want to thank you guys for helping Mike with his training, or Marcus with his training, sorry. But before I get started, would it be okay if I ask you guys a few questions? That way I can kind of customize the presentation, for you guys. That'd be okay? Okay. So what exactly do you do? What do you guys do now? And you can either go back and forth, or you can ask one of them. Doesn't matter. This is called NEADS, Neads. And so, okay, so how long have you been there? How long have you been a speech pathologist? Okay. Now, what got you into that field? And ask them some questions. How long you been there? How'd you end up there? Why'd you pick that career? Is it something you always wanted to do? And then I would, maybe ask Todd. So, Todd, what do you do? Okay, you're in sales, but you want to be in the ministry. Okay, so what, if they've made a career change recently, you ask them why they made a career change, because that same reason's the same reason they're going to make another career change with us. You're basically profiling them at this point in time, trying to find any hot buttons, or what we call not buttons, things that would prevent them from making a change. And so, what do you guys like about what you do? So, Todd, what do you like about sales? Now, you said you'd been in the ministry before. Would you like to be in the ministry, or would you like to do sales, or you like to be bivocational? What do you like about speech pathology and Asker, all those things? You just really want to find one or two things, and then you really want to find what are some things you guys would change about your current job if you guys could. And you're looking for time. They want more time, more money, more freedom, flexibility, things like that. Now, can I ask you guys a question? And you might even just narrow it down to one or the other at this point in time if whoever is the one that you think is most recruitable, or even both. I say, do you guys see yourself doing what you guys are currently doing for the next 20 to 25 years? And if they say no, I'd say, so are you guys currently looking for something, or are you just basically not planning on doing that forever? And then they'll say, yeah, we're not looking. A lot of times they'll say they haven't looked, but they'd like to find something different. And I'll just ask. If they say no, I just say, if you could find something that allows you to have the things that you guys, earlier said you enjoyed, and just restate them, like time, whatever, without the things that you dislike, like you guys said you wanted to make more money, you wanted to have more time with the family and things like that. Would you guys be open to looking at something different? Okay. The reason I ask is our company is looking for some new people, some new associates, and since you guys are open, would you mind if I showed you how we could maybe help you guys reach your goals? Okay, perfect. Well, I don't know if you guys have heard much about our company before, but if you haven't, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our company. The name of our company is Primerica Financial Services. We've been around over 35 years. Been around since founded in 1977. We're listed on the New York Stock Exchange. We have over 6 million clients in the United States and Canada, as well as Puerto Rico. We have over 5,000 offices, which makes us the largest financial services company in North America. We have over 5,000 offices, which makes us the largest financial services company in America. And you'll see here we have 92,000 representatives, which if you compare that to some other well-known companies like Allstate, State Farm, MetLife, Edward Jones, and Ameriprise, add them all together, and they're still not as big as we are. And so, and I'll tell you how incredibly big, but a lot of times people haven't heard of us because we don't do any advertising. We've done every single bit of this without any national, or TV or radio advertising. Because, basically that costs a lot of money. And what we do is we put that money back in our clients' pockets, where it should be. What we do is we work off referrals, okay? And just word of mouth, basically referrals. And so even though we're big, we're still not big enough to help all the people that need help. We basically have less than 2% of the market share right now. That's why we're in such a major expansion phase and growing so fast. That's why we're growing so fast right now. But anyway, I'm going to do a presentation. I'll pretty much explain everything we do. But as we go through the presentation, I want you to ask yourself a couple questions. Number one is, could these concepts be helpful for people I know? Do you guys know people that would benefit from what we do? And that's one of the reasons that Marcus wanted to sit down with you guys, is to show you what he's going to be doing, and that way you feel comfortable referring him to other people. Does that make sense? Number two is, could this information be helpful for me personally? And to be very honest with you, my goal is to impress you guys enough, or so much, that you would want to see what we could do for you, see what we could potentially help you. And then number three is, do I know anyone that's looking for a career change, or who needs to make extra money in order to reach their goals? Maybe either part-time or full-time. Like I said earlier, we're in a major expansion phase right now, and we're looking for good people. And a lot of times we find some of our best people in other careers. Marcus here is a counselor. I used to be a physical therapist, and so we're looking for people. We're looking for the right people. And so our mission statement is to help families become properly protected, but most importantly, debt-free and financially independent. One thing we've pretty much figured out is everybody has debt, and everybody wants to be financially free, right? But how many people have a plan that tells them how to go from there to there? Does that make sense? Pretty much nobody, right? Most people don't have a plan, and so here's what the results look like. These are the financial challenges facing people today. Average credit card debts, over 15, almost $16,000. More than half of Americans have literally no emergency savings, whatever. 68 million Americans have no life insurance. And then 77% of people live paycheck to paycheck just to get by. That's why they're in such bad shape, because they don't have any money to do anything with. But here's probably the most alarming, okay, and this is a big issue. It says a decade with no income gains. The typical American household made less money last year than they did a full decade ago. And so they don't even have the money to fix their problems. And like it says here, how serious are these problems? Well, they're super serious, especially when nothing's done about it. Because here's the results. Here's what it looks like when nothing's done to fix the problem. Smart Money did a survey. They took 100 people that would work from 25 to 65, which at 65 you're supposed to be free financially, right? Right, living life, right? Only 5 out of 100 had over $1 million saved up. This is what they basically found out. 54% were going to be dependent, government, different things, Social Security, all that kind of stuff. 36% are going to be working, 5% deceased, and only 4% are going to have over $1 million saved, and 1% are going to be wealthy, which is pretty sad. 5 out of 100 people. But the question we need to ask is, why do 95% fail when it comes to their finances? Because somebody's got to fix the problem, right? If 95% are failing. We think there's basically 3 reasons people fail financially, why 95% fail not financially. Number 1 is they don't have any financial education. Nobody is teaching people how money works and how to make money work, for them. Number 2 is they don't have a financial game plan. They don't have no one's teaching or no one's giving people a plan to become financially free. But the biggest challenge, like I said earlier, 77% of people are basically month to month. They don't even have enough money. If they had the education, had the plan, they don't even have enough money to make the plan work. And so as I go through the presentation, I'm going to show you how we address all 3 problems. Okay. Well, as far as financial education is concerned, basically the 5% know how money works. Okay, and they use the same financial concepts that banks, insurance, and mortgage companies use to make tons of money. Okay, they understand these concepts. Let me give you an example. Have you guys ever heard of what's called the Rule of 72 before? Okay, never heard of that before. How about compound interest? Okay, you have heard of that. Okay, what have you guys heard? What do you know? Okay, you don't really know how it works. You just know how you just heard about it. Okay, how about debt stacking? Okay, well, here's the deal. These are just a few of the concepts that people need to know. Let me give you an example of how important these are to understand. Let me give you an example, okay? The Rule of 72 has been called the banker's rule. Here's why. Here's how it works. If you divide your interest rate into 72, it'll approximate the number of years it takes for your money to double, okay? For an example, if you had got 3% on your money, it would take 24 years for your money to double. At 6%, it's 12, and at 12%, it's going to double every 6 years, okay? So what does that mean when it comes to money? If you look here, $10,000 at 3%, it's going to double every 24 years, so 20, and then at 48 years, it's going to be 40,000, right? Well, at 6%, you think, okay, I double my money, right? I should double my interest. Well, look at this, it quadruples your money to 160. Well, look what happens when you go from 6 to 12. It actually is, it's $2.5 million. That's almost 10 times the amount of money, right? That's a huge difference. Well, here's the difference. How big of an impact would that have on somebody's life? I mean, how different would their life be at $2.5 million versus 40,000? Totally different. See, that's what people don't see, is the impact it would have on people. Well, that's an example of how compound interest can make such a big difference in somebody's life. Right? Do you think banks understand how this works? Yeah. But do they have any incentive to teach us how to make it work, for us? Because think about it, shouldn't we have learned this in school? Absolutely. How different we would, things would be. It says in the Bible, you don't say this, but we'd perish for lack of knowledge, right? Who do you know that would benefit? Let me ask you this. Who do you guys know that would benefit from knowing this? Outside of yourself, obviously. Who else do you know that you think doesn't know this? That could benefit from knowing these rules? That could have $2.5 million if we just sat down and taught them how to get it, right? And here's something I want you to understand. When we talked about referrals earlier, without introducing us to people like family and friends, how else are they going to learn this? Who's going to teach them? Nobody. right? That's one thing I want to make sure you guys understand from a referral perspective is we could literally change life. We will be responsible for changing the lives of at least half the people you put us in front of us because we can teach them this, but then show them how to do it. Isn't that cool? Yeah. And so let me explain something to you. We do a seminar called a cash flow seminar on Tuesday nights that teaches the 95%, okay, what the 5% already knows, okay, because this is just one of many things that we teach people, okay? Have you guys ever heard most people don't plan to fail, they just fail to plan? Right? Well, here's the problem, okay? Financial institutions are all about selling you products. They don't provide you with the total solution. Because you think about, this is what an average family looks like. They've got their money going all these different directions, right? They got a mortgage, credit cards, loans, mutual funds, savings account, 401k, banker, life insurance agent, car insurance agent, home insurance agent, right? They got their money going everywhere, right? What's the likelihood you could get someone from each company to sit down as a team and put together a plan that helped you become debt-free and financially independent? What's the likelihood that would ever happen? It would never happen, right? Until now. That is until now. Because basically what we've done is put all these companies together into one. We're basically a one-stop financial supermarket. What makes us unique is we either own a company or we market a product for a company in almost every area, of finance. Okay, you'll see here these are the companies that we market for or own. And what we've done, and here's the result of what we put all these companies together into one, what the results are, okay? This is kind of a before and after example of one of our clients, okay? Before they had $160,000 on the first mortgage, paying off in 24 years. They had $13,000 on 3 cards, paying off in 58 years. So when were they going to be debt-free? There's no telling. We put together a plan that saved them 4 years on their mortgage and $56,000 in total interest with 0 extra payment whatsoever. So they're debt-free at age 55. As far as their life insurance is concerned, they had $150,000 on husband and wife, nothing on the kids, paying $298. We were able to get them twice the amount, $300,000 on each, $25,000 on their kids for only $123 a month, which saved them $175 a month. As far as their legal service, they had no will prior to working with us. They had no will, so because they didn't, the state had one for them, right? But we were able to get a will set up for them, and then also access to a full-service law firm for only $25 a month, which is incredible. Their auto and home insurance, they were paying $243. We were able to do it for $178. So we saved them $65 a month, which is pretty much incredible because combined, that's $240. Now let me ask you a question. What do most people do with money when you save it for them? Exactly, right? They go spend it. And think about it. Do banks want them to go spend it? Yeah, because they want them to come back again and get another loan and another loan, right? This is where we're different. Okay? Is because here's what we do. The goal is to get, to retirement. So before they had $20,000 saved up in an IRA, and they were saving $100 a month, which at 65 was only going to give them $107,000. Okay, we took that same $20,000, put it in mutual funds, and increased their contributions to $300 because we saved them $230, right? So at 65 they have $1 million saved up, a little over $1 million saved up. So the results for our plan are basically they're debt free, they're properly insured, and they have over $1 million saved. That's incredible. Let me ask you guys this. If you were me and you did this for somebody, how good would you feel about yourself? It'd be pretty incredible, wouldn't it? How good would they feel about you? Because you think about it, how different is their life now? Oh, it's totally different, right? And to think all it took was a plan. And on top of that, it's a free plan. Because if you think about it, who would turn down a plan like this? Nobody, right? They'd be crazy. But here's the thing, if you remember me telling you earlier, okay, there's 3 reasons people don't do well financially. Because you can be educated, and you can even have a game plan, and you're going to be set up for success. But what if you don't have any money to do anything about it? Because you think about it, why were they in this position in the first place? Because they didn't have enough money, right? How different would this plan have looked if they'd had an extra $1,000 a month in their check, in their budget? They wouldn't have been in this situation.